Alright, hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Down here at hive number 6, I made this split from, honestly I don't remember what hive, but I made this split about 2 weeks ago. Checked on them last week for the first time. It looks like the queen cells have hatched, or they were chewed out, hard to determine. And I did not find the queen last week, or see signs of a laying queen. So, made the split 2 weeks ago. I'm going to check for those things again this week. Hopefully I can find the queen, and if I do find her, I have my one-handed queen catcher ready so I can mark her, and hopefully there's signs that they have a laying queen. So that's pretty much it. Very short introduction considering this is a new colony. I don't think you can really call it a colony until they have a laying queen, so new addition to the bee yard. TBD whether or not they're a colony. So hopefully I can find the queen this week. And there is, even though I didn't show you, there is decent activity on the front porch. So not that that's the best indication of what's going on in the hive, but at least bees are coming and going. They still have a good amount of bees in the colony, so I'll show you real quick. And it looks like they've consumed about half a gallon worth of sugar water. So as you can see, quite a few frames of bees, at least from what I can see looking down in between the frames, which again doesn't really tell you too much. So that's why we inspect the colonies, right? I'd really be happy to find queen this week so I can mark her, and that I know they are queen right and no kidding an established colony. So let's keep our fingers crossed, and maybe that's how this week will go. Well, take a look at that in a second. Oh wow. If they are not queen right from the queen cells that hatched last time, they should be in a little bit. They got 1, 2, 3. That's kind of a odd looking situation there. 4. That's a very small looking cell. So I've had this happen before, what I'm about to say. I have had swarms and splits that I've made. Basically, I mean, knowing they were queen right, like called a swarm that I knew had a queen because I found her. And I mean, they made a bazillion queen cells. Not a bazillion, but no kidding, a dozen. A dozen queen cells, and just reswarmed multiple times within a very, very short amount of time. I was about to set this down, but I just wanted to double check a little closer to make sure they don't have a queen on this frame, because I know for a fact she is not marked if they do have one. So that's just something I gotta tell myself with this colony, is just kind of slow down, since I'm used to all the other colonies having marked queens. So getting kind of spoiled with marked queens, it allows me to move kind of quickly frame to frame. But with a colony that does not have a marked queen, you have to slow down and just really check each frame. Yeah. Okay, so that queen cup there, or former queen cell, was the one that a queen hatched from, or was chewed out. It's hard to say, because the bottom was perfectly opened up and then the side was kind of chewed out. So one of two things happened. Either the queen hatched and then the bee started to tear down the cell by chewing out the side, or the queen killed that one and then the bees chewed it out. Hard to tell. So frame number, or I'm sorry, not frame, but hive number 5, I just got done inspecting them, and they are queen right. I found the queen, but I also found one queen cell in that colony. So now that I'm looking at hive number 6, even though I'm looking for eggs, I don't see any yet. So even if this colony is queen right, it's hard. Well, it's a hard call, because there's whatever I counted 4 or 5 queen cells on that very second frame. I might just add that one frame from hive number 5 to this one, since they're trying to make a new queen. This would be a very good frame to find eggs on, and I do not see any. So even though they had 2 frames with queen cells, you know, there's no guarantee. Whatever queen emerged may have gone out to mate and got lost, was killed on the way back. A whole number of things could happen. So just because you have hatched queen cells doesn't really mean anything, as many folks probably know. Because I definitely do not see any eggs. And they are definitely using the sugar water to store some nectar here. Alright, well, given the amount of queen cells on that very first frame, or second frame actually, I feel pretty comfortable with adding frame number 5's frame to this colony to give them one more queen cell, since hive number 5, I think I said frame 5, since hive number 5 is queen right. So let's go ahead and do that. Because I do not think, yeah, I don't think they have a queen. So that was on frame, let's see, the frame I set aside was frame 2. So let me put this back into the first position where it was, and take this frame, since it's a bit established and has food, and this side has space for the queen to lay. I'll put this into frame 5. Hive 5. Good lord, I keep saying frame 5. And then, let's see. Yeah, these bees mean business with making a queen. Let's take another look at this frame. So what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 capped queen cells on that frame, and I'm going to put this into the number 3 position, same direction it was facing. Actually, let me move this out so I can give myself some room for moving hive number 5's frame over. Let me grab that real quick. And this frame has a bunch of eggs as well, so in addition to that queen cell, so they might use some of those eggs to draw out even more queen cells. So they are trying. They want a queen, and they're trying to make some, or trying to get one. They've made 4, and now I gave them 1 extra, so they have 5 now. And I'll move that frame down into hive number 5 in a second. Alright, well there you have it. That's hive number 6. 2 weeks after making a split with one or two, I think two frames that had one queen cell each. Not sure what happened to those queens. It looked like one emerged. It looked like the other got chewed out, basically killed by the bees or the queen. But given it's been 2 weeks, or 2 weeks since I made the split, 1 week since checking on them for the first time and the queens emerged, and then now seeing that they just produced 4 queen cells in the last week, and then I just gave them one from hive number 5 who is queen right, so now they have 5 queen cells. Those cells should hatch in the next week or two, and then it takes about a month for a emerged queen to eventually leave the hive, mate, return, and start laying. So, but that's getting ahead of myself. So next week's inspection, I'll pull those 2 frames and see if any of those queen cells have hatched, and then just check on them for the weeks to come. So there you go, hive number 6, no signs of a queen, whole bunch of new queen cells, and then I gave them one from number 5, so they have 5 queen cells now, and I don't know, their future looks pretty good. I'll just have to check on them as the weeks go by. Thanks for watching Cole's Farm, Jacksonville, North Carolina. Another hot day, but that is the last hive that I am inspecting today, so that's it for me. Appreciate everybody watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And if you hit the bell, you'll receive notifications of future videos. I didn't disturb them too much. Yeah, that's kind of the usual, just a few bees coming and going, which makes sense because they don't have much of a foraging force right now. But they might have a good future. We'll just see what happens. Check back next week to see if any of the queen cells have hatched. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody.